we have to talk about the worst trading card game of all time. MetaZoo was a trading card game launched in 2020, taking advantage of the culture of speculation in the collector community brought on by the pandemic and the growth of the crypto market. Its in-game lore revolved around Sam Sinclair, a sort of Timu Ash Ketchum who resembled the anime husbandos that horny weeaboo girls used to draw in their notebooks in middle school. So this Sam guy, I guess, is a wizard of some sort who uses his spellcaster abilities to break the quote-unquote veil separating our world from the magical world of cryptids like Bigfoot and Mothman, and it's now our job to join him in his quest to harness the power of magic and mythical creatures to restore order to the universe. It's kind of ambitious to call this a game. The mechanics were just a clunky ripoff of Magic, with the only meaningful difference being that you could choose your attack targets like Yu-Gi-Oh! And damage stacked after combat like Pokemon. Oh, but wait. The game breaks the fourth wall by taking into consideration actions you perform or elements in your environment. That could be cool, right? Until you read cards like Shadow People, which gave you a bonus if you didn't make direct eye contact with your opponent during combat, or Ding Ding Bell, which has a bonus attack for every damage sealed MetaZoo product in the arena. Like, what does that even mean? Could I just bring a stack of MetaZoo packs I used as toilet paper to my locals and have a card that swings for 1,000 damage? But it was pretty evident to anyone around back then that MetaZoo wasn't supposed to be played. It was supposed to be collected. There's just one problem. The cards looked like dog shit. The company kept trying to gaslight the community into thinking the game had a retro art style. The art style was just inconsistent, cheap, rushed, and oftentimes upsettingly deranged. If you need a good example, look no further than this nightmare-inducing promo card of Smokey the Bear, which makes me think there are threats more dangerous than wildfires in these woods. I would have given them some grace if the company at least believed that they had a decent game on their hands. They never seriously invested money or time into setting up Shop League, organizing consistent sanctioned play, or even creating content around the game that acknowledged the concept that you could actually play with the cards. But instead, the company was throwing untold amounts of money into sponsoring conventions, acquiring licenses for offshoot sets, creating NFTs, and paying people like Steve Aoki and certain YouTubers who shall remain nameless to shill the cards for their audience of hype bros and quote-unquote trading card investors. But unfortunately, nothing could save MetaZoo when the collectibles market inevitably deflated, and nobody wanted anything to do with it because it offered nothing other than the deeply misguided belief that maybe one day these cards would take off in value, like vintage Pokemon or Magic the Gathering. I'm sure there's a lot more behind why MetaZoo abruptly closed up shop and declared bankruptcy after being on the market for just 4 years, and there's certainly someone more qualified than a professional MetaZoo hater like myself to explain why. But the big picture was so obvious to anybody who was around for the MetaZoo fad. It was a bad game with bad vibes around it, and I think other game creators can learn a lot from their massive failure. That's why I think